Alright, bro, I just got a chance to watch your video, and so I thought I would make a video for you. I know you hit 30 in yours, I'm at 28, and I just hit 28. And I don't think I'm going to feature any actual gameplay in this video. No, I certainly am, because I'm going to show you that I play the game completely different than you, even though we are both occultists. I did finally pick a second class. I'm an occultist shaman, and I do have a devotion going on. But you know me, I finally gave up and I wimped out and I looked up a build because I figured somebody knew more about this game than I do. I'll get into that in a minute. The first thing I noticed is we're both on about the same quest, this We Need Food quest. I thought I had finished this, but you know, apparently not. We're close together. Cross the bridge near Twin Falls to enter Homestead. I'm pretty sure I entered Homestead. You know, a little tired last night, but I think if I go here, this is where I got to. Maybe. So I started here. I'm gonna look all around now and drive myself nuts. Yeah, I started here. I can't do anything about my pets. Notice I have 3 pets. They're fighting, they're doing their thing. I don't really care. I can ignore them. But I started here, and you notice how this is all mapped out. I went through this whole thing, and then I restored this shrine here, and there's the Arcovian Undercity entrance, and I went through that to here. But oh god, I must have gotten the. Man, don't tell me I did not get the stupid I didn't get the oh, that's what's wrong. I need to heal my pets. I apparently didn't get the next portal. I must have. I couldn't have been that dumb. So see how my pets are healed. That's this. We'll cover all this in a minute. Obviously, if we spend all the time it takes to get from here to there, it's going to take quite some time. This isn't a shortcut. This takes me to another. That's on. What is this called for? Oh, I just got that. I've never used it. Well, no, I used it once in town, and it was, you know, kind of a waste of time. Yeah, there's a dungeon here. It's a small one. You know, nothing to worry about. Not a spoiler. Just it's there. You have to go around this way. This is going to annoy me. Because I am not going through this whole thing again. I will port back. You'll notice I'm not really casting any spells. I'm putting this dot over them, but that's about it. Don't leave me alone. Go bother my pets. They're the interesting ones. I'm not bothering you. See these things following me around? They're bothering me. I'm not bothering you. Alright, so I am venturing on spoiler territory, and I don't want to do that. So I am just going to teleport back to town and consider what I did the other day, or last night, at some other point. But I know I went through the next dungeon. And it's not big, but it's you know, medium size. It's bigger than the one that you did in your video, and I don't want to spoil anything for you. So that being said, I have skills here. I have Curse of Frailty and this Vulnerability. And I also picked up Blood of Dreeg. I also have 2 pets. Well, actually, I have 3. I have Summon Familiar, which you have. I have Summon Hellhound. And the other one comes from the Shaman side of things, which is Summon Briarthorn. So those are my 3 pets. I have the... you can't tell looking here. But one's the bird, one's a dog, and one's a kind of tree-looking thing. This thing. What I did learn, however, is if you go into your skills, yes, I got 3 points available, and I'm like, well, what if I spend these 3 points? Well, damn, I didn't want this. I didn't need this. So, I don't know if you've met this girl. I know you probably have her, because it's part of the story down here. But this lady up here, what's her name here? Sadina? Will let you unspend your points. It does cost a bit. It costs 25 iron bits. But in the grand scheme of things, that ain't nothing in this game. I have 140,000. So I think I can swing 25 to unspend those. So you just come in here and 4, 3, 2, and that goes to 0. I will explain that in just a second. That goes to my... Look, I looked up a guide thing.
Safe journey.
So I'm hoping, yeah, it's still recording. I can tell looking over at OBS that you can hear me. There is no background sound because the game is paused. So I found a build on Grim Dawn forums, blah, blah, blah. I am not going to go through this whole thing with you because I know that you're not a build guy. You don't care about that. But basically what I found was a guide that is supposed to work as a shaman slash whatever the heck we are. And these are not really complete. It's not like a Path of Exile guide. But what you do get is, at least with this one, is you get 3 different, the Birds of Bismiel, Fluffy's Vengeance, and the Budget Fluffy as ideas of what kind of gear you want to have. And then there's some text down here, which I don't want you to see because you don't care, but it explains how to play the build. Now, what I wanted this for was I wanted to see what kind of gear to look for because I really was confused. And I looked at this and I went, well, this is all endgame gear, and this dude is level 100. So, you know, that doesn't help me. This is this first build here, the Birds of Bismiel. So then I went, well, what's Fluffy's Vengeance? Well, that's this one. Now this has a couple of blues, a little more approachable, but still, you know, lots of endgame. And then this is the Budget Fluffy, so I thought, okay, I can do that one. And that still has lots of blues that I don't have. And actually, this actually has purples, I think. These are purples, where the other ones were some blues. But if you read down through here, you'll find the budget version of the Budget Fluffy, which is my kind of build. It's still level 100, and I'll get to that in a minute. But this shows you green versions of stuff you can run around in. And what I wanted to know is, well, what kind of stats do I want? And I thought it was interesting that this has a lot of physique, more spirit than cunning, but still mostly physique. I was going for more spirit than anything, and it turns out that, yeah, if you look at all these, physique is always number 1. So you probably still want more physique than anything else. I don't know how much physique you want or how it actually works. What happens? No, okay, you can just take that. And anyways, you want more physique than spirit is what I'm getting out of this. So then I thought, all right, well, let's look at the main hand weapon. Because like I told you, I've been running around with that crossbow or gun. And, you know, it's been working well for me. But I'm like, this probably isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. So I looked and I said, okay, this is Salazar's Sovereign Blade. And it calls, its granted skills call forth the Harbinger, granted by the item, which conjures Salazar's Harbinger from the depths of the void. And I can't point, but just to the right of where I am pointing, you see it's +2 summon Hellhound, +2 summon Familiar. Well, it just so happens I went and got a not daily, a quest from this table here.
There are a few people I hold in high regard, and I count you.
Stop. I got a bounty from this. It was to go kill Salazar. And don't you know, I got the Oathkeeper Salazar's Sovereign Blade of Spellweaving. And you'll notice it has Call Forth the Harbinger, granted by the item. And it also has +2 to summon Hellhound and +2 to summon Familiar. So what... I was like, well, what does it mean +2 to summon Hellhound and +2 to summon Familiar? And I looked at my skills and I went, oh, look. See how these are blue and the rest are white? These are boosted. And I also have something I'm wearing that gives me a boost to this Dreeg's Evil Eye. You notice it's 0 12, but as soon as I put a point in it, I got 3 instead of 1. That's because it was boosted by a +2 on one of my pieces of gear. So now I'm at 10 of 16 and 9 of 16 on these two particular things, because I get +2 from this weapon. So going back to the build guide, I still use the purple build guide for stuff. You can come down here and click on skills, and I'm not telling you to follow this, don't make a difference. This is just, you know, what it's doing. This is 8 of 10 in Curse of Frailty. Notice these are all blue because they have, you know, fabulous freaking gear. But 26 of 16. So that means he's put 16 of his own points in, plus gets a +10 bonus from all the crap he has. So that means I want 16, maybe 1 or 3, I can't tell. You know, going across. But this one, notice, is only at 7. Well, I'm already at 9. So what that tells me is I have 2 points too many in there, so I can go up here and spend 50 pieces, 50 steel, and I can be back at 7.
Farewell.
And this is supposed to be 3 of 12, 0 of 12, but this one is supposed to be as high as it can get. So I could put the 2 points in here, or I could come back to the Shaman. I've got 5 points available, and I can bump myself up to here, but that doesn't help me any. So I'll just hang on to it for now. So what I was trying to show you there is refunding your points for your general skills is dirt cheap. So if you want to try some skills, you know, if you think this spell here, whatever this savagery, looks cool, put some points in it. It doesn't make a difference. You can always remove them. That is not true for your devotion. And I got lucky and happened to pick this turtle first. And if we go back to that build I was looking at, the turtle is completely filled out. And when I looked at this, I went, well, what the hell is this? And it says, it's bound to a thing called Primal Bond. Now, I didn't know what Primal Bond was, but it looked like a spell. So I thought, well, let me see if I can bind mine to something. And sure enough, I bound it to Blood of Dreeg. Now, I'm hoping, yes, you can just change this. You can see no skill. You can put whatever you want. But I bound it to Blood of Dreeg because I cast that often. And when you cast that, it gives you the side effect of the purpose of this. The turtle shell, when threatened, a protective barrier forms around you, negating further harm. So when I cast Blood of Dreeg, I get a shield, which is handy. So going back to my build, I was like, well, where do I get Primal Bond? Well, I Googled it, and it turns out that's a shaman skill, but it's way the hell over here. So, I'm not going to get Primal Bond for a while, as you can imagine. This is a toggleable ability, so I think if you toggle it on, you toggle on a shield, which sounds kind of interesting. You know, these are just the things I'm learning. Some of the stuff that, you know, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but so it's got item choices while leveling up, which is what I read. And some of the stuff about, you know, how to put on the spells like you did is in here. But, like, you know, when leveling up, go for Familiar first, followed by Briarthorn later. Put a single point on Hellhound for the distraction it provides. You also want to point in Curse of Frailty early on to bind Shepherd's Crook to. Huh. Shepherd's Crook. Well, that's one of these damn devotions. Now, I'm never going to find it because I want to talk to you about it. There it is right here. This is Shepherd's Crook. So I was supposed to do this one early. I haven't even started it yet. The shepherd guides his celestial flock across the night sky. Affinity requirement is one purple thing. But what I don't understand is if you look back here at the build guide, he's got a point here and a point here. How the heck did he get to this purple one? Because I've done this and I've done this, but I got no purples. So I need to figure out how he got from here to here, and something gave him a purple so he could start this. So what's interesting about this Shepherd's Crook is, you know, since there's a spell here, I'm going to assume you start here. And its affinity requirement is one purple, so you have to have a purple to start it. And the first point gives you 40 health and 8% health to your pets. The second one is 15 cunning and 40 health. Then we get 10% elemental resistance and 15% elemental resistance to your pets. And 3% health, 5% health, and defensive ability. And then you get another spell. And this one he bound Curse of Frailty to. So every time he casts Curse of Frailty, it also casts Shepherd's Call, which is call upon your minions to join you in battle. Now, I don't know what that does, but I know that I have this spell bound to my right mouse button. And that's the only thing I cast. So when I run around and I want to kill things, I run up to it, I hit my right mouse button, and everything falls over dead. So if we go like... Now we can go back where we were, I guess. All I did, I hit my right mouse button. Oh, and I'll press 1. Which allows the pets to heal themselves. Actually, what this spell does is really weird. It's a binding with the Great Guardian, confers some of Dreeg's regenerative ability, while wounds infected by enemies will spray caustic blood as though inflicted by Dreeg himself. I think what happens when I cast this is that the damage that the pets do to the bad guys causes the bad guys to bleed, and the bleed, when it hits my pets, heals them. And I am short a pet. Why am I short a pet? I've got 6. How did I lose him? Oh, because I changed how many points I had in him. Anytime you mess around with the points you have, it changes everything you have. I must have really messed up because I did all this last night. And there's the star for we need food. Alright, well, I'm not going to spoil this for you. I may have spoiled a little bit by showing you maybe where this is. Although I would hope that you know where it is by now. I'm not going to bring up my map to show you exactly where it is. Oh, this blue thing I thought for a long time was something killing me. It turns out I have these boots that has a granite skill called Howling Winds, and it surrounds you with blistering wind that chills your enemies to the bone when I get hit by melee attacks. I kept trying to run away from that when I first saw it. Oop, that's a boss. Well, not a boss, but he's a star.
Can't do that yet.
There's no reason for me to go up here. I've already been up here. Alright, anyways, I just wanted to show you the difference between my guy and your guy, although we're playing the same class. We are obviously playing them, you know, exactly differently because... Oh! Alright, I'm going to stop the video here because obviously I missed this guy before. I'm going to see what he wants, and I don't want to spoil anything for you. So, hopefully you liked it, and hopefully you'll see something different in my build and the way I'm playing. And maybe we'll play together sometime. Have a good night.